Great. So welcome everyone. And I'm just going to start by sharing my screen with you all. And today I'm going to look at some defense hands. And I'm going to invite you to defend these hands with me as I play them, to make various decisions about how to bid and how to play as we go through these hands. So let's start off with this first hand, and we're going to look at this from the point of view of East. And South opened a spade, your partner overcalled 2 hearts. North now bids 2 spades, and you've got the first decision to make here, which is, are you going to bid, and if so, what? So have a look at that East hand, and in a moment I'm going to launch the first poll, and the question is, what do you think he should bid? No one is vulnerable on this hand, so there's no vulnerability. Everyone's non-vulnerable. And the question is, what do you think he should bid? Let's have a look at your results. And most of you have gone for 3 hearts, 85%, with a few people passing. And yes, I agree with that. Either vulnerable or not vulnerable, I'm going to support my partner here. I don't have a lot, but I do have 4 trump. They presumably have at least a 5-card suit. So I'm going to use this opportunity to support them. Really not strong enough with 6 points to go to game. So I'll just bid 3 hearts on this hand, yes. South then bids 3 spades, and your partner bids 4 hearts. North passes over to you, and you pass, but South bids 4 spades. And that's passed around to you. And another decision I want you to make now is, what are you going to bid now? A look at what you've chosen. And the majority have gone for pass, with 1 person doubling and 1 person bidding 5 hearts. And I agree with you. I'm going to pass here. I don't really know exactly what the makeable contracts are. Obviously, each side has got a fit here, but I don't know if they're going to make 4 spades. I don't know if we're going to make 4 hearts for sure. They're both pretty close calls, but I'm not going to bid 5 hearts. I would need, extra long distribution in hearts to bid 5 hearts. And I'm not going to bid double 4 spades because I don't really have much defense against 4 spades. So I'm just going to pass, and let's suppose that ends the auction. So here we are defending 4 spades, and your partner leads the ace of hearts, and down comes dummy. And I've got the 3rd poll coming up, which is, what are you going to play? So declarer calls for the 9 of hearts from dummy. And the 3rd poll now is, which heart are you going to play? The queen, the jack, the 5, or the 2? Okay, let's have a look at the results. And a variety of results, most going for the 5 of hearts, and some votes for the jack, the 2, and the queen. So let's switch back and see what we think. Well, it looks like we're probably going to make 2 heart tricks. It's possible that your partner has led the ace of hearts when they don't have the king, but more likely they have the king and they've led from the ace king. And it's pretty clear that your side, it looks like they're going to probably make 2 heart tricks. And you can let your partner win the ace and presumably cash the king if you like. But there's a special play that you should know about and that you should make in this situation, which is to play the queen. When your partner leads the ace against a suit contract, and you have the queen and the jack, you can make a special play of the queen, which isn't exactly to encourage, but what it does is it promises that you have the jack. It either promises that the queen is a singleton, and that's obviously not the case here because you supported hearts, or you have the jack. And why would you make such a play? Because you want your partner to continue this suit, and you want to get on lead so that you can lead into dummy's weakness. And the weak suit here is diamonds. So if you and your partner understand this convention of playing the queen when your partner leads the ace against a suit contract, you will throw the queen here, and it's a message to your partner that you have the jack. And that means that they can lead the suit again, not leading the king, but leading a low card, and put you on the lead with the jack. And played this way, you are now on lead, and you are now in an ideal position to play diamonds. So if we bring up the four hands, we can see that having won the second heart, you can now lead a diamond, and that will trap any honors that your declarer has. If you had not done this, if you had just let your partner take the ace and the king of hearts, then it's very hard for them to know what to lead. And if they decided to lead a diamond, that would help declare and make a trick with the king. Or if they need a club, that might help declare as well. So you, because you can see that weak diamond suit in dummy, you should signal with the queen, and then when you gain the lead with the jack, if your partner is watching, he will realize you would not play the queen unless you really thought there was a good reason that you wanted to be on lead. And it happens in a case like this that you can now lead the queen of diamonds, and you're going to defeat this contract now, because whether the king is played or not, you'll be able to take two diamond tricks, and you'll be able to defeat four spades right off. After that, whatever you play, declarer will be able to rough that, and will now possibly draw the remaining trumps. And once the trumps are gone, we'll probably play the clubs. And probably based on the bidding, he should assume that West is more likely to have the queen of clubs. So he should finesse against the queen of clubs, assuming it's in the West hand. And in other words, play the ace and then play a club over to the jack and then the king. And declarer will make the rest of these tricks, but you'll have already defeated him by taking the first four tricks there. So if you're not familiar with that, that is an important signal, that you don't just signal, say, with a 5 to a signal encouragement, but you throw the queen specifically to say that you have the jack. You only do it if you have the jack, and it only really applies in a suit contract. But it's quite a useful convention if you and your partner are aware of it. Do interrupt me if you have any questions on that. So let's try another one. And again, we're going to look at all these hands from the point of view of East. And let's have a look at this one. South opens a weak 2 spades. Your partner doubles, and North bids 4 spades. And you might well have been wanting to bid something there, but I'm not sure I want to bid over 4 spades. So let's suppose that ends the auction, and your partner leads the king of clubs, and we need to have a look at dummy at this point and think about where we might make some tricks here. So it looks like we're going to make 2 clubs. My partner presumably has got a sequence headed by the king, so we can make 2 club tricks. It looks like we're going to make the king of spades because that's well positioned, and the only other tricks we're going to make are in diamonds. So this is a similar position to the last one, that we are hoping to make a diamond trick or some diamond tricks, and it's going to work out much better if we lead a diamond than if we make my partner lead diamond. So what we're going to do when the king is played, we might start off signaling encouragement with the 9, high to encourage. If they carry on with the queen, though, we can see that's the last club we have available, because there are only no more clubs in dummy. So this is the moment for me to overtake, take the ace, so I can then lead a diamond back. And I'll just bring up the 4 hands at this point, and you can see that Declarer does have the potential here to lose a diamond as well as the king of spades, but it works out much better if you lead a diamond than if you left your partner on lead. You can see if your partner is on lead and they and you let them win the queen of clubs, if they lead a diamond, that's terrible, of course. Declarer makes a trick with the queen there. And if they lead anything else, like a club, that helps. That could help Declarer because they can rough in one hand while they discard from the other. And a heart lead is obviously not going to set up any tricks for your side. So the winning defense here, or the best defense, is for you again to overtake. So you're in a position to lead into dummy's weakness. And the best card very often is to lead a card higher than the highest card in dummy. So you might well lead the jack here. Here it doesn't matter too much. Even if you lead a low diamond, Declarer will probably go up with the ace here, and he might try the spades. Now, Declarer's missing 2 spades, and you've got them both. So if he leads the queen, he discovers a bad break, so there's no point finessing. In fact, now Declarer still has a chance, hopes to make this contract, because he's not going to draw that last trump. Instead, he's going to try to cash 4 hearts and discard as many losers as he can before you're able to gain the lead. But if you're on your toes when the queen is played, you can hop up with your king of spades and lead a diamond back. And that way your partner makes the king and Declarer goes down 1 in 4 spades. There was one other little clue there, that when I led a diamond, my partner, even though Declarer played the ace, my partner signaled with a high diamond, the 10, I think, to encourage me to continue that suit. So again, one involving some interesting decisions by East, and a similar idea of leading into dummy's weakness. Do interrupt me if you have any questions. And I've got the last hand of the evening, and this is one I sent out as an email during the weekend. And here we're in 3 no trump, and it's just gone 2 no trump, 3 no trump. My partner leads a 2 of hearts. Down comes dummy, and I can see my partner seems to have got off to a good lead, because I've got the ace jack. They've led presumably from their best suit. We can tell it's a 4-card suit because the 2 is presumably their lowest card from a 4-card holding. So we've got some help for them in that suit. And I've got 2 questions for you. Declarer now plays the 8 from dummy, and you've got to decide which heart to play. And so you're going to play the ace or the jack. And if that card wins the trick, the second part of the poll is, what are you going to play at trick 2? So here comes the final poll of the evening. What are you going to play on the first trick, the ace or the jack? And if that card wins the trick, what are you going to play at trick 2? So here comes that poll. Okay, let's have a look at the results. And for the first part, 67% said the ace, and 1/3 said the jack. And then for the second part, most people have gone for the jack, 15% for the ace, and other things like the 4 of hearts and another suit also got some votes. So let's switch back and let's try and figure what the right thing to do here is. Well, first of all, when your partner leads the 2 here, it's presumably their best suit, and they presumably have 1 or more honors in hearts. And the missing honors are the king and the queen. So they may have actually both of those, or they may have just one of them. They may just have the king, or they may just have the queen. But in any case, because there is no high card in dummy, like the queen, if the queen was there, it would be right to play the jack. But because there is no high card like the queen or the king in dummy, it's right to play third hand high. So well done the 2/3 of you who correctly said you should play your ace here. Yes, you would only play the jack if there was a high honor in dummy in between the jack and the ace. So here we win the first trick with the ace. Now, normally in this situation, it's right to lead back the same suit. There's no reason to switch to another suit. In fact, there's a singleton in dummy, so I'm definitely want to carry on in hearts. And the normal lead would be to lead back the card that was originally 4th highest. But this is a different situation because there is a singleton 10 in dummy. And this should now change what you play. What you can do on this hand, instead of leading a low card here, is you can lead the jack, and that gets the pins the 10. Okay, let me just bring up the 4 hands, and you can have a look at this layout. So we've got the layout here where your partner has the king, but not the queen. So Declara's got the queen. So you can see that, first of all, it was absolutely right to play the ace here. If you'd played the jack, Declara makes a trick with the queen. But now that the ace has won the trick, and now that you can see the singleton 10 in dummy, you don't make the normal play of playing a low card, but you lead the jack. And if I click on the GIB button, you can see that this is the only defense that will defeat the contract. And it caters to this kind of layout. Just think about it. If I didn't lead the jack, but I led a low card here, well, then if Declara plays low from their hand and your partner wants to win the trick, they have to play the king to beat the 10. And then that promotes the queen. But the winning defense here is to play the jack. And now whatever happens, Declara's not going to make any heart tricks. If they play low here, your partner will let you win that one with the jack and you'll continue. And if they instead play the queen here, then your partner, of course, can play the king, getting the queen and the 10 in one trick, and win the first 2 tricks there. Now, your partner actually isn't quite sure of the layout here. There are other holdings. You might, for example, have just started with the ace and the jack. So he might carry on in hearts, maybe taking one trick, the 9. He knows the 9 is high. And he might not be absolutely certain whether there's who's got this last heart. So he might just take the ace of clubs now and then play the last heart. But you win that. And again, you've defeated the contract by making the first 5 tricks there. After that, Declara will gain the lead. And after playing a couple of rounds of diamonds, can claim, he'll say, I've got the rest of the diamonds and the good spades. So played that way, you can defeat the contract by taking those 4 heart tricks. And it has to be exactly played that way, winning the first trick with the ace and then returning the jack. So a slightly unusual situation there. But again, the key, I think, is to look at what's in dummy and try and figure out what the right card to lead here is. And because of that singleton 10, it changes what you would normally lead. And so you should lead the jack to get to stop the 10 from making a trip there. So just a variety of hands there involving some defense decisions. And that's all I had to talk about this evening. Does anyone have any questions about any of that?